Justice Watchers, before we begin, I want to make this absolutely clear. The following broadcast contains public domain courtroom footage, commentary, and legal analysis. This content is presented under the fair use doctrine as defined by 17 U.S.C. 107 and is protected by multiple Supreme Court rulings, which you see below. This stream is transformative, educational, and journalistic in nature. It includes original commentary, trial breakdowns, legal interpretation, and critical analysis, not raw redistribution. We do not claim ownership over any public domain footage, and all use is strictly within legal bounds. If you're watching this content, you're engaging in a protected, transformative experience, grounded in law, never in speculation. And if anyone has a problem with that, take it up with Campbell, Brady, Miranda, and Irvin. Remember, guys, justice always works better when we watch. So keep watching. See you in the courtroom.
Good morning. You know, you look familiar. I think we've met somewhere before. I just can't place you. I hope your time off was enjoyable, and I'm very proud that no one forgot. Mr. Austin, you're still under oath. The defense may continue with their direct examination.
Your Honor, I believe when we spoke a while ago, we were on page 79 of Proffer number 2. We broke and we direct the jury to that page and like to play the conclusion of the transcript of Proffer number 2.
Just for clarification, there's only one Proffer?
Part 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second, when you said I couldn't do it?
He never really asked me to do anything like that.
But on anything, when you had worked for Baker for all this time in his business with the adult film business, with all these women and all this stuff, you had never told Baker no. Everything he asked you to do, you did.
Yes.
So Baker knew that you would be willing to do whatever he asked.
I think so, yes.
Did Baker ever tell you who rented the rental car that was used that day?
All I know is that day I got picked up.
You're talking about the day you came in on the 22nd?
The day I got picked up. So I got picked up. We went back to his pad. Said, listen, this is... You're going to be in and out. Showed me a picture of his phone. I didn't ask any questions.
The picture being of Fabio?
Of Mr. Fabio, yes. And then I'm going to let you know.
What do you mean, I'm going to let you know? What does that mean?
When more information comes, I will let you know.
Did he tell you
He
the
always instructed
information?
me not to ask. Yes, that was the night that Mr. Fabio went to the restaurant. He said, Monica's going to send him to go get some food. We can get him there. And that's when I told you I went. I was like, I can't do this. And he got back in the car. He's like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. back to his pad, and then when we went back to his pad, he said, "Don't
Are you
worry."
talking about after the
After
attempt when you were going to kill him at the place?
Yeah.
At the shopping center?
I said, "No, I'm cool." And then he was, we got back to his pad, and then he said, I'll go with you." And I was like, "Are you sure? Like, we don't," he's like, "No, she wants to go home. It has to happen quick."
Right.
And then that day, we, as you stated, like, he was gone. And I waited, and I was watching TV. I'm trying to, like, nothing's going to, I was telling myself, nothing's going to happen. I have to go back to Alaska, like, everything.
But you knew you were coming out to this. I mean, this is the whole purpose. You were
Yeah.
coming to LA
Yes,
for.
I knew.
You weren't coming out to go clubbing. You were coming out to hang out. You were coming to LA
They
to
wanted,
commit this murder.
they committed,
Hence why you left your phone at home,
yes,
and hence why you went on the 22nd to
yes,
try and do it, but you chickened out, and hence why the following day when Baker gives you clothes, you know that you have to cover your face as you're running up to the house.
yes.
Okay.
And we went up there. He's home alone, and as I stated before, the door was unlocked. We went in, we opened the door, saw Mr. Fabio sitting on the back porch, and that's when the murder was committed. And then he told me to go in the car. I waited, and he forced my head to be down. He said, "Put your head down."
As you drove out?
As he drove out.
Do you know why Baker turned off the circuit breaker to the house on the
I
way
didn't
out?
know he did that.
I
wasn't looking. When I tell you I got in the car, and he told me to get in the car, I just got in the car, and I'm just looking around, and I put my head, he said, "Put your head down." And that's what I did.
Did you see him pulling the manual?
I didn't see anything.
Did you see him pull the string, the manual garage, what's it called? Garage opener, the emergency release to open the garage door?
Oh, yeah, because he didn't use a clicker. He didn't use a clicker to open it. He pulled it and it opened, and then we drove off, and then he dropped me off in an alley, and I just ran, and was trying to find...
An alley, how far from the home?
Maybe less than a mile or so.
And this is the one that you showed us, like, near that tunnel?
Yes.
So, like, you only drove a short distance?
It was a short distance, and then he told me he said, "Get out," and I got out.
And then you ran?
And then I ran.
And
at some point, he picks me up in a rental car.
How long after he dumped you
I
out?
was probably running for like 7 minutes. It all happened so fast.
Did he say anything about or did you see him communicating at all, either via text or phone calls with Monica after the murder?
No.
Let me ask you one thing, and then you can move back into where you were. At any point in time, did Baker tell you that Monica was going to go to certain locations in order to create an alibi?
She went to the store and left
Who
him
told
alone.
you that?
Baker told me that Monica left him home alone.
And did he say why?
So we could kill Mr. Fabio.
Okay. Did he tell you, though, anything about, like, Monica's going to the store? Did he use the word alibi, in other words?
Did he use the word
Yeah.
alibi?
Or did he just just say she was going
She
to the
just
store?
said she's going to the store and told me that he's there alone now.
Okay. And did he tell you who that information came from?
He said she, so my ears or my brain is assuming Monica.
Well, was there any other female that was discussed other than Monica?
No. Yes. Yeah, and then like before we left, like Baker wasn't known to like move really quickly unless he was like late for racquetball, basketball. And when he got like the information via phone, he was like, "We gotta go." And like he's like, "Come on, let's go." Making her come downstairs, and we walked really fast. That's when he put me
You mean to the car?
to the car.
When you said he got info, who did he get info from?
Monica,
And how do you know that?
because that's the only person he was talking to about this whole situation and how he got information.
How do you know
Where
that?
Mr. Fabio was.
Was he saying, oh, she, or
She.
Monica
He would say
said?
she. She said he's home alone. We have a small window. We have to go now.
He said, we have a small window?
Yes.
What did that mean when he said, we have a small window?
I didn't really interpret it other than he might be going somewhere soon.
So you're interpreting it as a window in time, not like
Yes.
a window you look through.
Yes, a window in time.
The night before, when you decided you were going to kill Fabio outside that strip mall, and you went back to Baker's apartment, did he tell you that he was going to be going somewhere in the morning, or was there any conversation about, like, hey, when you get up, I might not be here, wait around,
No.
or what was the story?
No, he didn't tell me. He did seem disappointed in me though.
When?
When I told him that I didn't want to do it.
You mean the night before on the
The night
22nd?
before.
Did that bother you that this was somebody that you had looked up to and worked for all these years, that he was disappointed in you?
Yeah. You know? Yeah.
Because you wanted him to be proud of you. Think highly of you?
Unfortunately.
Sure. And 109, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Okay, we're going back on the record. It is 1:22 in the afternoon. Mr. Austin, are you ready to proceed? Did you have a chance to speak with your lawyer in confidence and
Yes.
the facilities?
Yes.
Okay. Were you given, other than the gold coins, were you ever given any jewelry from the home?
No.
Do you know anything about a VPN that Baker was using when y'all were in Vegas? VPN.
Like internet?
Yeah, a virtual private network.
I'm not smart enough to. I
You ever been to-
know what it is because I play video games, and when my internet goes out, that's
Good
when I
enough.
look at it.
Did he ever mention anything to you about using any kind of VPN, or did that come up, that term VPN,
No.
that you can recall?
No.
Okay. During the course of the murder, were you aware that Baker had cut himself?
No.
Were you wearing gloves?
Yes.
Was Baker wearing gloves? Baker never said anything to you like, I cut myself?
No. I didn't really pay attention to his hand.
Okay. So you don't know if he was wearing gloves or not? Is that what you said?
I don't recall if he had gloves on or not.
If you were wearing gloves, where did you get the gloves from?
Baker.
When you were attacking Fabio on the patio, did you notice or did Baker say anything to you about the fact that Fabio had a big roll-up on his wrist?
I legit did not take notice of that.
Okay. Did Baker, while you were at the scene, ever say, we gotta hurry and get out of here before so-and-so comes home?
There was no conversation.
At all?
After the murder took place, I remember before I even went, when I was going into the house, like when I say before, I mean I turned and looked, he was gone. Because my eyes were closed.
Who was gone?
Baker was gone. So,
You mean once you entered
no,
the house?
No, the patio. I'm on the patio.
Oh, okay.
So, after everything had happened, after the stabbing had happened, I turned, my eyes were closed, and I opened, and he was already running into the house.
Okay. So you were still on the patio with Fabio?
Briefly.
Okay.
And when I went into the kitchen, I remember saying, like, whispering, like, yo, and then I just went into the garage.
How did you know to go into the garage?
Because he said to go get in the garage before the whole thing went down.
And
He said after we do this, go to the garage.
you
Get in the car.
You knew which car? Did he tell you what car?
There was only one car.
No, before, did he tell you anything about what the car was? Because the night before, you thought
Yes.
he had this pickup. Oh, tell us about that.
Yeah, she just told me he bought a brand new fucking Porsche. Get out of money.
Who said that?
Baker did.
Baker said what?
Baker informed me that he had just bought a brand new Porsche. They're loaded, and we're gonna get this money.
We're going to get this money?
Yes.
So he told you to go before the plan was. Did he say, like...
He said the Porsche should be in the garage.
Okay, so he knew...
He knew exactly what the car was.
Did he say... I know we've been asking the same question all the time. Did he say how he knew the Porsche was going to be in the garage?
It's my understanding that Monica would have told him that the Porsche would be in the garage.
Why do you say that?
Because Baker didn't move in anything that entire 2 days until he got information via Monica.
How do you know that?
Because he's only, to my understanding, that's the only person he was talking to about this whole situation.
Did you actually hear him besides just texting? Did you actually also hear him on the phone with Monica?
He didn't talk on the phone around me.
Didn't talk on the phone around you?
No. But I knew everything came in via phone.
And he never told you, like, he was over there before and saw the Porsche or knew there was a Porsche in the garage or anything like that?
No.
And then he said he just got a new Porsche, like he'd just gotten it.
That's what I remember hearing.
And when did that conversation happen?
Before I came down.
Like how far before? If you remember. Because you're talking about the plan. Right. How far before, like, you flew out?
Maybe a few days before he sent the card or the ticket and the money. Before he sent the money.
So there was a discussion a couple of days before you flew about how you're going to do it, go in, and then go to the garage and get in the
house thing didn't come up until the next day.
But to go into the garage in the Porsche, or just that he got a new Porsche?
Just that he got a new Porsche.
Got it. Okay.
I don't remember when it was purchased.
Yeah.
The only way Baker would know that is if Monica would have told him that.
Because he never said, I saw his Porsche. It's really cool looking.
No.
Okay. So it looks like, just from going through your bank records, it looks like on January 12th, so we're talking more than a few days, you call Birdsong, and then you call Baker on the same day, and then Baker calls you back, and then it looks like on that same day, he transferred, I think we talked about this 2 days ago, $380 to an account, and on that same day, you withdrew that money from the account. Would that be the day that you're withdrawing the money and these phone calls are going back and forth between you and Birdsong and you and Baker? Is that the same day that you're planning to come down?
Yes.
And you knew when he was sending you money on the 12th, and you're talking both to Baker and to Birdsong, that the reason you're coming down is to kill Monica's husband for the insurance money.
Yes.
Did you overhear any of Baker's conversations with Monica?
Outside of casual, like Jim, he's pretty good, isn't he?
No, I'm talking about during the
mm.
22nd, 23rd. Did you overhear him talking to her at all?
No. No.
Did Baker ever tell you after the murder who else you could trust besides him and Al?
That's it.
Okay.
For clarity,
Mm-hmm.
it was my understanding that when I flew down, Mr. Fabio was never supposed to be killed in his home. But I believe that when I just couldn't do it. I believe that Monica wanted it done, and so I think that's why she told Baker that he would be at home.
Okay, but we need to know why you think that. 'Cause whatever you think is just your speculation. Was there conversation that you had with Baker where Baker said he's not
at the apartment.
At the apartment. At Baker's apartment.
At Baker's apartment.
Which day? On the 22nd?
The night I couldn't do it.
122.
122.
Tell us about
He,
that.
like I said, he seemed like real disappointed in me, and then he started like texting her.
How do you know he's texting her?
He said, "I'm gonna text her and let her know."
Okay. That it didn't go down.
That it didn't go down.
Okay. And what did he say about the murder not supposed to be happening at the house, but then changing the mind and then doing it at the house the next day?
Baker said Monica wanted it done. She wants it done.
Did he say why or when?
Trust me. I got you. I'm not gonna let anything happen to you.
That is nothing.
Just
That
follow
doesn't
me,
answer my
and I'm
question.
gonna go
My question is, did he say anything to you about why Monica wanted it done?
for insurance money, so she could leave him.
When you flew down, do you know that it was the plan to send him to pick up food? None of that.
So when he was saying that night she wants it done for the insurance money, it wasn't supposed to be. What did he say to you about like what you were just talking about a minute ago? Your understanding was it wasn't supposed to be done at the house, and the
No.
plan had to
It
change.
was supposed to be in somewhere out in public.
What did he say about that?
He said just like she's gonna set him up.
He said who was going to set him up?
He said that Monica,
Mm-hmm.
is gonna set him up, gonna send him to the store, get some food or to something, and then that's when we met in the back alley. When he said, "Hey, let's take a ride," he was explaining to me on the way over here. It's like, look, you're gonna look. This is what he looks like. You're gonna look for a truck, or a pickup truck, right? Kind of a big dude. Go in, scout it, make sure nobody's around,
He was gonna wait back there.
He was gonna wait back there
And you were
or
supposed to go
move.
back there.
I was supposed to like go back there or just walk away somewhere.
But what did he say about what you were talking about a minute ago, which was that it wasn't supposed to be done at the house, but then the plan changed and she said it was, she wanted it
She
done.
wanted it done because she went to the store. He told me that Monica was gonna go to the store real quick and leave him alone.
That was on the next day, the
next day,
23rd?
the 23rd.
Okay.
He did let me know that he's gonna meet with her.
When?
He just said I'm gonna meet with her.
When did he say that?
He didn't say when he was gonna meet with her.
So when did he tell you that?
The night before,
The night that you didn't go through
the
the
night that I
plan?
did, so the 22nd, said I'm gonna meet with her, and we'll figure it out. And I didn't really say much.
Okay.
And then when he yeah, so
I'm sorry.
he expressed to me that she's gonna try to leave him home alone somewhere. And she wanted it done. She was feeding Baker, and Baker was telling me
Monica was feeding Baker what?
information on where Mr. Fabio would have been. That's how we knew to go straight to the patio. Because he told me that Monica said when I left, he was on the patio. He should still be there watching TV.
Did Baker ever say anything to you about Monica being able to view her surveillance cameras from her phone? Did he ever mention anything like she had an app where she could see the front of her house? Did he ever mention anything about that?
No.
Did he ever tell you that he had the app that Monica sent him her password so that he could view the comings and goings from the front of her house?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
He said he just told her she gave me the password. Like I can see everything.
From where?
From his phone. But he never showed me. He just told me.
What did he say he could see?
He didn't. He just said I could see all the angles.
What was that in reference to? Because if he's going with you, why would he even say that? So was this a conversation before? Was he looking at the house before?
Yeah.
When was that conversation? Before you flew down?
Probably before I flew down.
He was talking about he could view the house.
Like she gave me the password. Like
I mean, did he say why he would want to view? Why would he want to?
he didn't say why he wanted to view the house.
But the day of and the night before, you never talked about that surveillance again.
No.
Okay.
No.
After the murder, when you returned to Alaska on January 24th, did you use Chloe's phone to call Baker?
I did.
Why?
My phone was dead, actually.
Okay. And 2 days later, on January 25th, did you know that Baker unfriended you from his Facebook account?
No, I did not.
Did he ever say, I'm going to try to, get rid of any connections between us? So he didn't say anything to you about that?
No, actually, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't really even look. I don't really notice it.
Well, you must have looked because he sent you a Facebook message, and on that Facebook message that I showed you 2 days ago, it said download WhatsApp. And that's when you downloaded WhatsApp onto your burner phone.
Well, when it comes to like Facebook and being deleted, like I don't think you really know if you're being deleted or not.
But he didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything to me.
Anybody else?
Unless it does, then I don't know.
And just to be clear, nobody forced you to come to Los Angeles to commit this murder.
No.
And you knew very well that you were coming from Alaska to LAX to assist Baker with killing his girlfriend's husband.
Yes.
That was the only reason you came here. No one threatened you to do that? Baker didn't say, I'll kill somebody in your family if you don't. There were no threats. There was no pressure. It was just, you're going along with whatever Baker tells you, just as you had all these years. Is that true?
Yes.
Is there anything, either today or 2 days ago when we met, that happened that you felt made you uncomfortable here? Did anybody in this room do anything, threaten you, promise you anything, coerce you,
No.
withhold food, bathroom, drink from you?
No. I'm here on my own accord, praying for forgiveness from the victim's family, and to set everything right that I know, and tell you everything that I know.
We've discussed how, obviously, 7 years have gone by, and that does put you at some disadvantage. But if you, over the course of the next days or weeks, remember anything relative to any of the questions that anybody here has asked you, or something that you think is important, will you promise me that you will let your lawyer know? Okay. Is there anything you guys want to go over? Heather? Is there anything else that you on your own want to say?
No.
Okay. Counsel?
No, thank you.
Okay. I think we are done at this point. It is 1:43, and we are going to end this problem session.
If you can collect the transcripts. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Austin, again, you heard the remainder of the tape recording we started a week ago. And again, is it fair to say that that accurately reflects the questions and the answers that you gave during this proffer session that lasted 2 days?
Yes, sir.
And for the entire proffer session, you had your attorney with you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you could stop any time you wanted to speak with your attorney, is that right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, during the proffer session, there was one time, did you recall, when the attorney whispered something to you? Did you hear that?
Yes, sir.
Did it have to do with telling you how to answer a question?
No, sir.
There was one time when Mr. Aval actually indicated to the prosecution that you had met and this is what you meant to say, and he said it for you. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Had you discussed your testimony when you were apart from the prosecution about that point?
No, sir. My attorney advised me to just tell the truth.
So all you had to do was tell the truth.
He said don't hold anything back and tell the truth.
And then why was it stopped in the middle? Were you holding something back?
I've never been in trouble before, so maintaining my emotions was very important to me.
Okay. That was all about your emotions, not your answers?
How do you mean?
Well, you knew again when you went to the proffer session. First of all, before the proffer session, you had met with Mr. Aval and you had gone over what he was going to relate to the prosecution that you could testify to in order for them to decide whether there was going to be a proffer session at all, right? You did meet with Mr. Aval before the proffer session, right?
I did.
When was Mr. Aval first appointed to represent you? Do you remember that?
No, I do not. It was I got here in October. I met him in November.
So first you came down and you appeared in court and
I didn't come down.
you were extradited.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you waived extradition to come down, correct?
Objection cumulative.
Sustained.
And you, Mr. Aval was not your attorney at the first appearance in court, was he?
No, sir.
Okay. So sometime after that, Mr. Aval indicated to you he had been appointed to represent you, right?
Objection cumulative.
Sustained.
And it was only after that that you had a proffer session with the prosecution, correct?
Objection cumulative.
Sustained.
Let me ask you this. At the trial, do you recall testifying that Mr. Baker told you that he had taken gold coins from the safe?
Can you ask that question again, please?
And an objective status testimony.
I'll allow this.
Do you recall testifying at the trial for the first time that Austin you claimed Mr. Baker told you that he had taken gold coins from the safe?
Let me back up a little bit, okay?
Okay.
I was given gold coins when I was dropped off at the airport. Put them
Okay.
in my pocket. Take these. Tell them they came from me. If anybody asks, tell them they came from me. But it's my understanding.
From him, right?
But it's my understanding that they did come from the safe.
When you say it's my understanding that they did come from the safe, what do you mean by that? It was my understanding.
What do I mean by my understanding? It's my understanding. I understand that they came from the safe later.
You found that out later.
No, I pretty much knew.
You pretty much knew. Let me go back to the proffer session. In the first proffer on page 172 to 173, there's a question. So you don't know where they came from, the gold coins, and you said, no, I don't.
Can you tell me what line you're on?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me what line you're on?
Page 172, line 28 to page 173, line 1.
That's what I told them, yes.
You told them that you don't know where they came from. Right?
Yes.
Was that the truth?
No, it was not.
So you lied to them at the proffer session?
They were asking me to recant something from 7 years ago, so I was doing the best I could. And again, when I was dropped off, I was told, tell them they came from me. So that is the information I regurgitated until everything settled in, and I remembered that he did go through the house.
When did you remember he went through the house?
Excuse me?
When did you remember he went through the house?
When they started asking me more questions.
Well, the first statement I read to you a few minutes ago came from your trial. The trial here, not your trial, Ms. Sementilli's trial. Now, her trial occurred after the proffer session, correct?
Yes, sir.
It was just a few weeks ago that you testified at her trial, this trial. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And this was after the proffer session, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it was certainly after you had been taken to the airport, and you say Mr. Baker gave you some coins, correct?
I'm sorry. What?
What I'm asking you, Mr. Austin, and again, if you don't understand, do what you just did and tell me to repeat it. At the trial, you testified that Mr. Baker took the gold coins from the safe, okay? He got them from the safe, all right? We clear on that?
Yes, sir.
At the proffer session, when you were asked about the gold coins, which was a few weeks before the trial or a month before the trial, you were asked, you don't know where they came from, and you said, no, I don't. And nowhere in the proffer session do you ever indicate that Mr. Baker got them from a safe. All right? You follow me?
Yes, sir.
You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
So between the proffer and the trial, you remember that you got them from Mr. Baker, who got them from the safe?
Yes, sir.
When did you remember that?
Before I had to come to trial.
Did you inform your attorney, Mr. Aval, or the prosecution?
I let my attorney know.
Pardon?
I let my attorney know.
So you let your attorney know before the trial that you remembered now that you had gotten the coins from Mr. Baker and he got them from the safe. Is that right?
He got them from the safe. Yes, sir.
Do you know if Mr. Aval told that to the prosecution?
It's this thing.
Let me go back to in the first proffer session. You recall this statement be told to you by the prosecutor that it's odd to be paid with gold coins, and you don't know if Baker got the coins from the house or from wherever, and then you changed your answer to, well, he probably got them from Fabio's house. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
And the question, okay, have you ever seen him with gold coins before? Because that's an odd kind of thing to be making payments in. Your answer was no. Question, so you don't know if he got them from Fabio's house. And you said, but now that you're saying it, he probably got them from Fabio's house, and I was wrong. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
(173) lines 1 to 12. So your answer was, but now that you're saying it, he probably got them from Fabio's house. What about what they were saying to you made you remember that?
The fact that I didn't go through the house.
Well, later on in the proffer, well, this is on the proffer, page 51. You say, but I think he got them from the safe. This is line 26 to 28. And you say, okay. You say, but I think he got them from the safe. They say, okay, and do you think, why do you think that? And you say, because he had mentioned that Monica said he has all kinds of stuff that he collects. How do you know that? That's what he told me. So at that point, you were saying the reason you thought they came from the safe is because Baker told you that Monica had told him he collects all kinds of stuff. Is that right?
That's what I said.
So is that why you thought he got him from the safe, or is it because Baker told you to say that, or some other reason? Mr. Austin, as you sit here right now, all you know is that you were given some gold coins by Mr. Baker when you were going to the airport. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was just before he dropped you off?
When he dropped me off, he put gold coins in my pocket.
And were they in any kind of container or anything, or just gold coins by themselves?
They were in a sleeve.
In a sleeve?
They were in a sleeve.
All right. And you don't know where those gold coins came from, do you?
I'm assuming they came from the safe, from the house.
You're assuming?
Because I was told that he collects all kinds of things.
So it wasn't because Mr. Baker told you to say that. It was because you assumed because you know he collects all kinds of things.
Again, I didn't go through the house, so whatever he took and grabbed, he gave to me.
So you assume that Fabio collects all kinds of things, so Baker must have gotten those from the safe. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm telling you what I was told.
You what?
I'm telling you what I was told.
By who?
By Baker.
That Fabio collects all kinds of things.
Yes, sir.
Well, how did you know that meant gold coins? Did you care what you were paid at all?
I was disappointed.
I'm sorry?
I was disappointed
Why were you disappointed?
because of my part, the fact that I went.
No, were you disappointed that you only got those gold coins?
It didn't matter.
Pardon?
That didn't matter.
Well, at some point I think you said they were worth $3,000, and later you said they were worth $10,000 or $6,000. Remember giving different figures?
I do.
What were they eventually, did you find out that they were worth?
I remember about six.
Sustain.
But you did cash them in for whatever they were worth, correct?
Sustain.
Now, I want to direct your attention to the issue of what you were told about or not told about insurance money, okay? Is that okay? We got it straight?
I don't think I have any options, so sure.
No, you don't, and you're here to tell the truth, as you said, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, your original story was that you were told you were coming down to rough up Fabio, right?
Objection, cumulative.
Sustained.
So originally, you thought you were not going to kill him at all. Is that right?
Yes, we've been through this.
When,
Sustained.
when did you find out for the first time that you were going to kill Fabio Sementilli?
Objection, cumulative.
Sustained.
At the trial, you recall being asked about insurance money or about why Mr. Baker wanted you to kill Fabio?
Objection, relevant.
I'll hear this.
Remember saying Baker told me about it?
Objection, there's no answer.
There's no answer to that last question.
All right, but I'll withdraw that question. You being asked, what did Baker tell you about it? Meaning insurance money. Remember that question?
Yes, sir.
You remember how you answered?
Enlighten me, please.
I'm sorry?
Enlighten me, please.
She's loaded, she wants them gone, she's going to get paid. You recall that?
Yes, sir.
And later on in the trial, do you recall being asked, how did you find out? And you said it was in a phone call. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
I'll hear this. It's over.
Remember Baker saying to you, according to your testimony, she's going to come into some money. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Later on in the trial testimony, remember Baker telling you, I'm going to get you a ticket, I'm going to send you a card?
Objection, cumulative and relevance as to what he remembers he said.
It's overruled. That's so far.
It should be fine, it's just a job and there's plenty of money. Remember testifying to that?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember testifying to Baker saying, if you do this, you can make some money, I'll give you a couple of dollars?
Now I need to see that. Sidebar.
Mr. Austin,
Yes, sir.
isn't it true that throughout your trial testimony, you never mentioned insurance money, except when the prosecution said, well, it was for insurance money? You remember that?
I believe I mentioned it earlier, before I was even brought here.
You remember being told by Mr. Baker, if you do this, you can make some money. I'll give you a couple of dollars. I'll give you a couple of dollars. I can get you anywhere between 30 and 50 grand, and there's plenty more where that came from.
Objection, cumulative.
Sustained.
And you asked, where's it going to come from? And you said, and he said it was going to come from the defendant. Remember that?
Cumulative.
I'll allow that one question.
That's
You remember
what he,
that?
That's what he told me.
So he didn't say it was going to come from insurance money or any particular source. He said it was going to come from the defendant. Isn't that right?
That's what he told me.
And throughout the time that you discussed with Mr. Baker, did you always understand that you were going to be paid some money for your assistance to him in killing Fabio?
Objection, cumulative.
Sustained.
Isn't it true that every time that money came up, Mr. Baker told you different things about it, some money, she's loaded, whatever, but never used the term insurance money? Isn't that true?
What makes you think that the money came out multiple times?
Are you saying you weren't asked about it multiple times?
You said Baker. He told me about it. And then they started proceeding with a plan.
Yes.
And then money came up later. But he said he's going to get it from the insurance money.
My question is, isn't it true that Baker never mentioned insurance money? He just told you she was loaded, you were going to get money from her, things of that nature. Isn't that the truth?
That is not true.
So are you saying that every time that came up, he mentioned insurance money?
I'm telling you, he mentioned insurance money.
How many times?
Does it matter? Does it matter?
Pardon?
Does it matter?
I'm asking you a question, so it matters. You have to answer it.
A couple?
A couple. When were they?
I don't know.
Did it come up the first time he asked you if you would assist in killing Fabio?
Objection, cumulative.
That's overruled.
I don't remember when it came up. It just came up.
Well, wasn't it something you were interested in from the very beginning, how much you would be paid for this?
Didn't ask.
So it's your testimony then that regardless of whether or not you were going to be paid anything, you were going to come down to L.A. and help him kill Fabio Sementilli, whether you got paid or not. Is that a fair statement?
Cumulative.
Sustained.
Were you willing to come down to California, to Los Angeles, and assist in the murder of Fabio Sementilli for no money?
I came down. He told me what he told me. And when everything happened at the restaurant, I thought it was done. So, no, I didn't want to do it.
But you did.
I went with.
Pardon?
I went with.
I can't hear you.
I went with.
You went with. But you did not have to stab him in the neck, did you?
No.
You were doing that to assist Mr. Baker because Fabio was fighting back. Isn't that true? Is that true?
No. Yes, sure. I don't know.
Whatever you did, and we've been through that before, you were willing to do it for no money. Isn't that true?
Objection, relevance.
It's overruled.
I didn't want to do it at all.
But when you ended up doing it, you were doing it because he asked you to, not for any money. Isn't that right?
He mentioned money earlier.
Is that why you did it?
I didn't want to go,
But you went,
but I went.
and you didn't go for the money, right?
I was supposed to just be there. And I
You
didn't
went
want to do it.
because he told you to, Mr. Baker, and he was your friend, and you wanted to help him out. Is that a fair statement?
No, I didn't want to go.
Did he force you?
Not physically,
Okay. If he didn't
But
force
no,
you
he didn't
physically,
force
I'm
me.
sorry.
but no, he didn't force me.
He said not physically. Does that mean he forced you mentally?
You could say that.
Could you explain what that means to the jury, to me?
That's a long road to go back on. And and I've been really, really trying not to go back there.
And I
And
understand,
I don't want to go back there.
Mr. Austin, when you committed this murder, you understand there were some consequences to that, correct?
Yes, sir.
And one of the consequences is you have to go back there. We have a trial with someone else who's on trial for murder. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you're obligated to tell us the truth whether you want to go back there or not, which I understand for you is painful, correct?
It's not just painful for me.
But my question is, you did it for mental reasons. You're saying that he had some kind of mental control over you, which caused you to assist him in the murder of someone you had never met for no money, really.
Objection leading.
I'll allow that.
He told me he was going to give me some money. That's the whole reason I came out there. And when the whole restaurant thing happened and I thought I couldn't do it, I thought it was done. So no money. No money's involved. We're not even doing it. And then when it happened, I guess he felt obligated to give me something.
I'm not talking about his obligation. I'm talking about your expectation. What you're saying is, if he had given you no money, that would have been just as fine with you as if he gave you a few gold coins. Isn't that right?
No.